Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava Metzia, page 85a, starting from 84b at the bottom. The Gemara concludes, this incident is the background to a statement which Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said, there are three prototypical modest people. They are father, meaning Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. Now we're on the top of 85a. Ubenei Beseira, and the sons of Beseira, and Jonathan, son of Saul. The Gemara discusses each case. The incident revealing the modesty of Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel is that which we just said, as he referred to himself modestly as a fox. The sons of Beseira were exceptionally modest, as they served in the position of Nasi, and yet abdicated their positions in favor of Hillel when he emigrated from Babylonia to Eretz Yisrael. And the master said, the sons of Beseira, upon recognizing that Hillel was a superior expert in halacha, seated him at the head and appointed him Nasi over them. See Psachim 66a. Jonathan, son of Saul, was extremely modest, as he said to David, and you shall be king over Israel, and I shall be second to you. 1 Samuel 23:17. Despite the fact that his father Saul was the current king. The Gemara asks, from where do we know that the aforementioned men were truly modest? Perhaps Jonathan, son of Saul, relinquished his rights to the kingship, not due to modesty, but because he saw that the world, meaning the masses, were drawn after David, and he felt that he had no other recourse. With regard to the sons of Beseira also, perhaps they abdicated only because they saw that Hillel was greater than they, and he was able to answer questions that they could not resolve. The Gemara adds, Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel certainly was truly a modest individual. Okay, the Gemara returns to the previous incident. When he heard that the greatness of Rabbi Elazar, son of Rabbi Shimon, was due to his suffering, Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said to himself, afflictions are evidently precious. He accepted 13 years of afflictions upon himself, 6 years of stones in the kidneys, and 7 years of scurvy. And some say it was 7 years of stones in the kidneys and 6 years of scurvy. Wow. The Gemara relates, the stableman of the house of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi was wealthier than King Shapur of Persia, due to Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's abundant livestock. When the stablemen would place fodder before the livestock, the sound of their lowing would travel the distance of 3 mil. He would calculate the right moment so that he would place the fodder before the animals at precisely the time when Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi entered the latrine, so that the lowing of the animals would drown out Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's screams of pain. Even so, Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's voice was so loud that it overcame the sound of the livestock, and even sailors heard it out at sea. The Gemara says, but even so, the afflictions of Rabbi Elazar, son of Rabbi Shimon, was greater than those of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. The reason is that whereas the afflictions of Rabbi Elazar, son of Rabbi Shimon, came upon him out of love, and left him out of love, they were solely the result of his own request, not because he deserved them. Those of Yehuda Hanasi came upon him due to an incident that left him due to another incident. The Gemara stated that Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's suffering came upon him due to an incident. What was that incident that led to his suffering? The Gemara answers that there was a certain calf that was being led to slaughter. The calf went and hung its head on the corner of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's garment and was weeping. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said to it, "Go, as you were created for this purpose. You were created for this purpose." And it was said in heaven, since he was not compassionate toward the calf, let afflictions come upon him. The Gemara explains the statement and left him due to another incident. One day, the maidservant Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi was sweeping his house. There were young weasels lying about, and she was in the process of sweeping them out. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi said to her, "Let them be, as it is written, the Lord is good to all, and his mercies are over all his works." 145:9. They said in heaven, since he was compassionate, we should be compassionate on him, and he was relieved of his suffering. The Gemara relates, during all the years of the suffering of Rabbi Elazar, son of Rabbi Shimon, no one died prematurely, as his afflictions atoned for the entire generation. During all the years of the suffering of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, the world did not require any rain, as the moisture of the dew was sufficient. As Rabbi Bar Shila said, a day of rain is as difficult as a day of judgment, due to the damage that storms and flooding can cause. And Maimar said, were it not for the fact that rain is needed by people, the sages would pray for mercy and annul it due to the nuisances of rain. And even so, despite the fact that there was no rain all of those years, when a radish was uprooted from its row in the field, there remained in its place a hole filled with water due to the moisture of the earth. Wow, it's a big daf. Maybe we'll do half and half. Okay. The Gemara continues discussing Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's relationship with Rabbi Elazar, son of Rabbi Shimon. Once Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi arrived in the place of Rabbi Elazar, son of Rabbi Shimon, he said to the locals, "Does that righteous person have a son?" They said to him, "He has a son who is wayward, and any prostitute who hires herself out to others for 2 coins hires him for 8, due to his handsomeness." Upon hearing this report, Yehuda resolved to extricate Rabbi Elazar's son from his plight. He brought him back with him, ordained him as a rabbi, and gave him over to Rabbi Shimon ben Isi ben Lakonia, the brother of the boy's mother, to teach him Torah. Each day the boy would say, "I am going back to my town," because it was difficult for him to study. Rabbi Shimon ben Isi ben Lakonia said to him, "You have been made wise, and a golden cloak has been spread over you when you were ordained, and you are called by the title Rabbi, and you say, 'I am going back to my town.'" The boy said to him, "I vow that this thought of leaving is now abandoned, and I will improve my ways." When the boy matured and became a Torah scholar, he sat in the academy of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi heard his voice and said, "This voice is similar to the voice of Rabbi Elazar, son of Rabbi Shimon." Those who were present said to him, "It is his son." Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi read the verse about him, "The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life. Pri tzadik eitz chaim, lokech nefashos chacham. And he that is wise wins souls." Proverbs 11:30. The Gemara explains, with regard to the phrase, "the fruit of the righteous," is that this is referring to Rabbi Yossi, son of Rabbi Elazar, son of Rabbi Shimon, who was the son of a righteous individual and became a great scholar in his own right. When the verse states, and he that is wise wins souls, this is referring to Rabbi Shimon ben Isi ben Laconia, who successfully helped Rabbi Yossi reach his potential. I think we'll stop there and we'll do part 2